Master Music Show. It's the Murder 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 Master Music Show. Hip-hop is dead, but we don't resurrect it. You follow what mainstream says, but here it gets rejected. If you wearing tight jeans, don't expect to get respected. I'm from a time where wearing black was always on your checklist. From a time where faggots get checked if they reckless. From a time where if you got too much shine, we snatch your necklace. This real shit here, Illuminati, fuck the industry. We represent the street and they respect our street ministries. Take no shorts and cut the middleman, literally. This hip-hop savior, our birth scenes like nativity. This a place where no one sells out for reliability, and the masses can get a chance to explore more creativity. You gotta be kidding me. If you call that hip-hop, niggas with high shades and fluorescent flip-flop. We killing Big Brother, cause we know he watch. You don't like what I'm doing, then you can suck mine. And you don't stop. It's the Murder Master Music Show. 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 It's the Murder Master Music Show.
Back at it once again. This is episode 344 of the Murder Master Music Show, only at UGSforlife.com. Mac, this is a great show, man. This is the first of 6 double episodes. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have 12 guests on 6 shows. You know what I'm saying? All on the road. This is gonna be dope, man. Starting tonight with Doggie Diamonds, followed by M-Town veteran Lil Noid. It's going to be insane. You there, Mac? You hear me? Bring out
my
Brandon.
bad, my dumb ass was on. My bad, I'm here. My dumb ass was on mute. I forgot.
That's the homie Brandon on.
My bad.
Mac.
Yeah, y'all. We got Mac. Doggie Diamonds tonight, man, and Lil Noid. Can you hear me, Fred?
Yeah, I got you, bud. Doggie Diamonds.
All right.
And Lil Noid. You know what I'm saying? What a show. For those who don't know, you know, Doggie Diamonds got his own show on YouTube, man. Shit's popping, man. Tell him about it, man.
Yes, the No Filter podcast that he got, but he got a couple other things too. I think he got a new show coming out called the Beef and Broccoli Show, and they used to do the Forbes DVD, man. Him and this guy M. Rec. That's why I first got familiar with Doggie Diamonds from them Forbes DVDs back in the day. They always had them dope ass rap DVDs and shit. And then, you know, when I was politicking with Star a while back, maybe about a year or so ago, he used to always tell me to hit up Doggie Diamonds because Doggie Diamonds was doing it big for the hip hop scene as far as on a podcast, an interview type of deal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just started. You know how I be on YouTube anyway, Fred. You know what I'm saying? So I started following him on. I subscribed to the page. And start watching the interviews. He got a lot of good ones on there, man, because he hit all the classic guys. It's like he give a format for motherfuckers that don't get that shine all the time. And then they do a lot of interviews with the conscious community, too. So it's more than just rap all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he interviewing dudes that's talking real shit, real solutions, and real conversation and dialect that be going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So about a week or two ago, me and Brandon both seen it. When he was on Facebook, he was talking about how Vlad, basically, you know, Vlad had always liked to steal interviews. Like, basically took an interview that he did and basically ran the same questions and all that shit. Didn't show him no love back. You know what I'm saying? Like, the classic shit that these motherfuckers do. So I'm like, fuck it. I've been wanting to ask Doggie Diamonds for an interview anyway, so I took the opportunity to say, hey, why don't we get you to come on and tell his story need to be heard, too. Because he do a lot for the hip-hop community, too, and they go unnoticed by the mainstream. You know, they know who
because
he is.
They get overshadowed by parent companies that have multi-million-dollar backings. Yeah, man, same shit happens to us, man. Same fucking shit.
He be like in the top 5 podcasts and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? music podcasts on iTunes and all that shit too. So like, but they don't give them no recognition. So I figured, fuck, we'll give them recognition because that's what we do, Prez. You know what I'm saying? Like, we salute the ones that need to be saluted. You know what I'm saying?
Real
so
talk.
I hit him up, and he responded back. I talked to him last week. We had a nice little conversation. He hit me with a lot of ideas and advice that he didn't even have to talk about. He wasn't. He was real humble. It wasn't like he was like, okay, I can do it, and then off the phone, now like he was politicking for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And set it up. I told you the next thing you know, we had the graphic up. It's time to go. You know how we do it.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And in the second hour, we got Lil Noid, man. This guy hit me up with his real name, of course, because I didn't know Lil Noid's real name, and I didn't know who the fuck he was. You know what I'm saying? Until he told me.
Right.
And I was like, well, shit, come on the show, man. He's like, yeah, man, my story needs to be heard. I was like, well, yeah, you're fucking right, man. This is the place to do it. If your story needs to be heard, man, get at us, UGSforlife.com. You know what I'm saying? But,
right, especially coming out of Memphis, because we didn't interview damn near everybody from Memphis. So there's a few of them that we still ain't got yet. You know what I'm saying? So
there's nobody
to add Lil Noid to it,
man,
be dope too.
You know, I don't care if you got 10 million followers on Facebook or fucking Twitter or 100. If you got dope music, send it our way. You know what I'm saying? And if it's good and you're humble about it and everything, we'll bring you on the fucking show. It's no problem at all.
Right. No problem.
But I do encourage all guests, you know what I'm saying, to go to UGSforlife.com and hit that donation page so we can continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's we're about, after this show, we're going to enter our third week in a row of bringing you, you know what I'm saying, shows every single night, man. And like I said, from tonight all the way to next Friday, we got double shows lined up. Initially, I wanted to do something where we do a show every night of the week, and then on Fridays you get a double episode. Next week, all doubles. I'm not saying that's going to happen every fucking week because you guys don't know what it's like to put together one of these shows, let alone 5 double episodes.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, and can nobody say that we're not working, we're not grinding, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And with that being said, I'm gonna go hit the board with this one of these Yuck Mouth tracks, man, because future is looking very bright in 2017. This is Yuck Mouth. This is off his, you know what I'm saying, new album. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Based on a Ville story, I think it is.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and just go to fucking SmokeALotRecords.com and cop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Google Yuck Mouth. That new Yuck Mouth, I'm telling you, man, that shit's good right there. It's future bright. And I'm loving that, you know what I'm saying, that Compton's Most YMC8 sample in there.
Hell yeah.
Well, we got,
shouts out to Yuck Mouth for the other night, too, man. It was a dope interview, too, with Yuck Mouth, man. Check him out.
Yuck Mouth is always,
check him out.
Wonderful guest to have. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him and SIBO, the whole regime. Man, our first guest is here, Doggie Diamonds, man. Before we bring him on, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about him again, man?
Like I said, Prez, Doggie Diamonds got a podcast, and he do interviews, and they used to have a Forbes DVD. I think they still run Forbes DVD, man. And that's how I first, like I said earlier, that's how I first got acquainted with who Doggie Diamonds was, him and Emmerich, because they used to have them dope-ass DVDs. And then, you know, back when I was politicking with Star a little bit, he always told me to check out Doggie Diamonds if we do hip-hop, because Doggie Diamonds is to Star said it was the realest hip-hop podcast out. So I started checking them out, you know what I'm saying, and subscribe to the page and start following it. You know what I'm saying? Became a fan of the show. I just seen he did that Big Daddy Kane interview, too. That was a dope one. You know what I'm saying? So I figured, hey, one of these days, hopefully we can get him on if he ain't too busy. And then I seen him on Facebook saying how this motherfucker Vlad was basically running the same interview that he did after he did it. Like, basically asking the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, shit, I'm going to holler at him and see if he want to come on. And,
Russian hacker. Yeah, I know you're talking
about. Basically tell his story. You know what I'm saying? And you know how we do it, Prez. We salute the ones that salute back. You know what I'm saying? So I hit him up. He hit me right back. We politicked it up and shit.
Here he is right now.
It's a must.
Without further ado, here's Doggie Diamonds. What's up, homie?
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Everybody that can hear me out there in cyber world, internet world, telephone world, space, Japan, wherever you're at. If you can hear me right now, salute.
Right, I appreciate it, man. And like you said, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you coming on. And can you tell our listeners who Doggie Diamonds is and what you got going right now?
I've been in the business for over 20 years. In the entertainment business, I went from being a DJ to music producer to doing interviews, doing media. Started doing the media like maybe 2007 or something like that. And I'm here today. Started with the Come Up DVD. Was doing the Come Up DVD. Went from the Come Up DVD to doing Forbes DVD. Still have Forbes DVD since 2008 till today. But then last year I started Doggie Diamonds TV because if anybody knows me from my Come Up DVD days, you know the Max B interview, the Nicki Minaj interviews, the Styles P interviews, the Jadakiss interviews. Mm-hmm. If you remember me from some of those interviews, you know I was never on camera. So when I started, nowadays if you're not on camera, if people don't see you, it's hard to put the name with the face. So the problem is, you know, your profile is kind of low, and people might know your name, but you might be walking somewhere. It's not that you do it for the fame, but you know, other people are getting walkthroughs, other people are getting hostings, and they're getting stuff that could, you know, earn different incomes based off of people recognizing their face. So I said when I finally get on camera, I kind of didn't want to get on camera for Forbes DVD because people was calling me Forbes as it is, and I used to have to tell people like, yo, my name is not Forbes, my name is Doggie Diamonds. So I wanted to brand myself, and when I decided to brand myself, you know, I made my logo in my likeness. I made everything in my likeness, so you definitely will know who the hell I am and how I look. And then I just started getting on camera. So Doggie Diamonds TV is fairly new. It's like a year and a half old. And, you know, but I'm not new to the business, but, you know, the brand Doggie Diamonds TV is new. So a lot of times some people look at Doggie Diamonds TV and they see me talking shit and they see me, you know, saying certain things and they be like, who the hell is he? Or he's new, or he's jealous of this person. They be saying I'm jealous of people who just started, or, you know, I'm mad at people who just started. And I'm like, you know, I did a real good job of rebranding myself because they don't even put two and two together that I'm the Forbes DVD dude or the Come Up DVD dude. So that's a good thing for me. That's a plus. The only minus is when people start saying that, you know, I want to be like somebody who initially want to be like me because I came first. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these other people started doing this way after me, you know, and pattern their whole aura, their whole style after me. And I say that because, you know, you have to say that, but I vowed to stop saying that after a while because I don't want people to think that I'm bitter and I'm not doing well and I'm on some I never won a Grammy, Little Richard shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm messed up in the game. I'm still active. I'm still doing stuff and I'm still very much relevant, but it just, you know, sometimes when people tell me I want to be like somebody, you know, that's like telling, you know, Rakim he want to be like Nas, you know what I'm saying, or Jay-Z, or telling, you know, Big Daddy Kane you want to be like Jay-Z or something like that. You know, these dudes will openly admit that these people were their influence, you know, and a lot of people were influenced by me. But in this day and time, it's cool for people to act like they don't know you and act like they wasn't influenced by you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of corny, but, you know, I think more and more as I stay active and more as I work, the real is starting to come through, and people starting to pay attention and be like, oh, I understand. Or they starting to put two and two together and say, oh, shit, I didn't even realize that you interviewed Little Kim that time. I didn't realize that was you interviewing this person. I didn't realize. They starting to put two and two together now. So it is what it is.
Yeah, your body of work.
And one thing,
you know, it's gonna be there
you can go down up and down the list and shit.
Yeah. I got probably like, maybe like 2,000 interviews on YouTube, on the internet alone. I got a lot of stuff on there, you know, and I'm not talking about. It's not about the quantity either, because I know a lot of people have interviews and some people have names, but it's quality interviews that really was effective and changed, you know, certain things in hip-hop culture and the culture period. So, yeah, I've been busy. I've been busy over the years.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, you know, when you get to see an excerpt from one of your interviews on somebody's Wikipedia page that you're highly relevant in the game, it lets you know that you're doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I gotta look that up. I want to know who the hell that is.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm with the late Jerry Heller. We're on his Wikipedia page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely.
Jerry, but yeah, man, I feel you. I've been doing this about a solid 20 myself. I started with Murder Dog magazine, and even with Murder Dog back in the day, other magazines was coming up and they was emulating the fuck out of us, taking our stories. They was trying to get the same artists we had in there, same style of interviews, and it got frustrating. It really did, because it's like, man, why don't you tell the people where you got this from? So I feel that, but at the same token, I don't want to be the grumpy old man either. You know.
Exactly. I don't want nobody to say, yeah, he's unhappy. He's not eating. He has no money. He's bitter. So I'm not far from that. And that's one thing that I vow to correct, the image that people might have of me, that I'm grumpy and bitter. I just don't like fuck shit. I don't tolerate fuck shit. And I try to be.
Salute to that.
I try to be more of a journalist and not a YouTuber, because you have a lot of YouTubers now, but they're not journalists, and they're trying to play the role of journalists, but they've never, ever gotten original content. They've never covered anything that they broke the story. They're just sitting around looking at everybody else's stories and then trying to create their own narrative off of what somebody else is doing. And I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go, and then especially not crediting the source. One thing about me, I like to credit where I got it from. Oh, I got this from this. Oh, this person said this. And that's a fight. That's respect for the game. That's the only thing. I say, people, if you're going to be in the game, respect the damn game. But, a lot of people don't respect the game. They just look at it for money and look at it for, this little notoriety that they're getting. So that's kind of corny.
Hell yeah. And one thing I do like about the Doggie Diamonds TV, like I said, it's, you got a lot of hip-hop on there, but you cover all aspects, too. You got fucking porn stars on here. You got people from the conscious community. You got actors. You got some of everything, man. That's what lets me know you a good interviewer, because you able to hop in different lanes, but doing the same thing to get to accomplish the same goal. It ain't like you just having people on your show just to ask them fuck shit to get to get views or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You actually opening up dialect and conversation, man. I like some of the ones with Red Pill and all them. And some of these people around the world, or mainly the country, wouldn't even know who they was if it wasn't for interviewers and podcasters like yourself. You know what I'm saying? For spreading the word.
Facts. And believe it or not, some of those videos, a lot of those videos get the lowest views. There isn't really, honestly, I'm going to keep it real with you. When I interview a lot of the conscious brothers and stuff, there is no money in that for me. That's just, because I believe the information has to be out there. But there is no money. Like, there is no, I'm just doing that for the people. I'm not doing that for myself, because I could just, chase the so-called top-name artists and get views and stuff like that. But that's not what it's about with me. Views, of course, yes. But at the end of it all, I didn't come in the game just I came in the game to add on. I didn't come into this game to just be somebody who was just like vulturing off of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that I'm big on. I wanted to come under the vein of people who were real actual journalists and covered stories and broke stories and stuff like that, and be the first. Like, journalism used to be about, you hear something happen, you're trying to get that story before everybody. Like, you're running to get that story. You're trying to get that story. You don't want nobody to have that story. Now it's about, well, if he got the story, I don't care. I got more followers than him, so I'll just, do the same story over and over. And that's what was kind of whack about it. So, what I said, too, this year, I'm going to go back more into my production. That's how I really started. I'm going to do things to separate myself from other people, because at the end of it all, besides doing interviews, I actually have talent, so that's what's going to separate me from other people. I got talent. I actually know how to do shit. Like, I'm just not some dude cooped up in the house, searching people Instagram posts and clipping Instagram posts and clipping tweets and then, talking over tweets and shit like that. That's not journalism to me either. Man. But, again, I do want to say, in defense of the people who do it, it is a market for that because, why should I say it's not right if people are actually clicking on that shit and people are actually watching it? Obviously, it's a market for it. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's a market for it.
It's just like there's a market for bootleg CDs. To me,
Definitely.
those people are bootleg. I mean, if they're able to make money off of it, go out there and make money off of it. But at the same token, it's fugazi. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It's everywhere. You could put up an interview tomorrow, as you know, and 20 other motherfuckers might take a piece of it or even just talk about it. Be like, so-and-so did an interview, and then, they'll get a ton of views out of it, too. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm making. Like, one thing about me, I love to credit the source. I love to say, I got this from here, I got this from there, or this happened over here, I saw this over here. It's times where I didn't even like the person. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even like the person, but if they broke the story, it is what it is.
Right. One of my favorite interviews you had was with the homie Poppy, man. Shouts out to the homie Poppy, man. We fuck with him tough.
Crazy.
And I always liked how you gave him the platform to, you know what I'm saying, take a stand against some bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm always salute you for that because a lot of people wouldn't have done that, in the position that you in, and a lot of people would have just did it just to, because they view it as some fuck shit, or maybe, try to exploit him coming out and taking a stand against pedophilia and shit like that. And I always gonna salute. That's one of my favorite episodes on Doggie Diamonds TV. But if I can ask you, what's one of your favorite interviews that you've conducted? Like, what's one? I always see you say I'm about to fan out on their ass or something. So like I seen you with the Big Daddy Kane one and shit. I could tell you was really looking forward to that. But what's like one of your favorite interviews you've done, or most memorable one?
My favorite interview of all time of myself will always be Max B interview from the Come Up DVD, and there's so many memes of that interview, so many clips, and people don't even know that that's me doing that interview. They love the interview, but they don't know that it's me. People will pick up now and know that that's my voice. That was my favorite because that was like the first time that I really had somebody like go in on somebody with just like no holds barred and didn't give a fuck. That was that. And then my other favorite one was my Pete Rock interview. Because anybody know me, like I'm 1,000% Pete Rock fan. And it's funny, like this is what I'm saying. Like you grow up, and then you come into this business, and you in this business, and then you say, my favorite producer is Pete Rock, and then Pete Rock walks in the room and say, Doggie Diamonds, what's up? And you like, oh shit, you know me? Like, you're like, yeah, I watch this shit all the time, and you like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, when that happens to you, nobody can tell you anything because you come into the game, idolizing these people, and then they know who you are. So that means you're doing a good job. Even somebody like Big Daddy Kane, if you let me talk long enough, I'll tell you how, like I always tell people, Kane is the greatest rapper of all time. I always say that. I say it to his face, and I say it to everybody else. So then when you're sitting right before him and you're talking to somebody who you believe is the greatest rapper of all time, and he's right here, and then I think Pete Rock is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and he's sitting right there in front of you, it's like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Like, people who I grew up idolizing, they're right there. You know what I'm saying? They're right there.
And respect on what you're doing, too. You know what I mean? That's what's real dope about it. Like for him to tell you, man, I watch this shit all the time. It's like, this is why a motherfucker do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the respect and the admiration from your peers for the shit that you like. Because that's how it was when first time we had Spice One. You could ask Prez, man. I always been a huge Spice One fan. So just even having him on the line, taking time out of his day just to fuck with us was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's funny because I've been fucking with hip hop for so long. Like, Spice One was like one of my favorite rappers at one point. You know what I'm saying? We had the Trigger Had No Heart. I loved his production. I was like, yo, this shit is just dope. And me being from Brooklyn, I was like, I knew about both coasts, West Coast, East Coast, but then when people think about West Coast hip hop, they keep forgetting that you have Cali, but then you have the Bay, and then you have different areas of California. Like, they just think of, Watts, Compton, Inglewood and South Central, and then Long Beach with Snoop. But it's different areas of California that has completely different sounds that's not that sound. So I was in tune with everything from Mac Dre to Yuck Mouth to Spice One. I knew about everything out there. I used to listen to a lot of stuff in Cali. So that's like one of my favorite songs is "Welcome to the Bay" by Mac Dre. You know what I'm saying? And Thiz Face and all that. Like I used to listen to all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when you have people who claim to be journalists, they don't know nothing about none of that stuff. You could ask them shit, and they be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So that's all I say. Like, if you want to be in this, you have to really study. You have to do your homework. You can't say you want to be a brain surgeon and don't know shit about the brain. You know what I'm saying? This is what you're about to operate on. So how could you not know anything about it? And then when you learn about the brain, you got to learn about blood vessels, and then you got to learn about the skull, or how to drill into the skull. There's so many nuances that you have to learn when you're getting into something. So when I fell in love with hip-hop, when hip-hop hit the West Coast, because everybody just says NWA, you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's fucked up, because there's other people that was from the West Coast that was very, very influential. I remember when Everlast was in when he was in Rhyme Syndicate, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember Rhyme Syndicate. Exactly. Like, I remember, different like I said, different people, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny if you really love the game and you look back and you look back at that you was able to experience different eras of hip hop. That makes you love it even more, because I remember when shit was kind of corny, you know what I'm saying? And then it just got real dope. And then I remember, when DJ, I remember like the DMC music conferences and New Music Seminar, and I remember seeing, Eazy-E out here, and I'm like, holy shit. I remember seeing Cypress Hill and thinking Cypress Hill was from Brooklyn, because it's a place in East New York, Brooklyn, called Cypress Hills. That's all we knew. So when we seen a group called Cypress Hill, we like, yo, they from East New York, and then come to find out they're from the West Coast. They're from California, right? So I was like, holy shit, how the fuck they from the West Coast? But they say Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill is in East New York, Brooklyn. So, and then you hear their music, and it's like, How Could I Kill a Man? But then it's the same beat as Rampage by EPMD. So you just like, holy shit, like, it's just so much that you learn when you love the game. And I think a lot of people don't love it. They just think that they can make $1 or $2 off it. So that's why so much shit is, a lot of effort is not put into the output of what we're seeing today, because people don't love it. They look at it as, well, I can make $1 off it, and whether I bake the cookies and they taste good or they don't taste good, somebody's going to buy them. And that's what, like, the art has become, whether it is graph writing, DJing, because even I started out as a DJ, so imagine how I feel like when I used to fucking run around with 16 crates of records, and then I see a dude walking around with a flash drive and he's pushing buttons. He don't know how to cut, scratch, blend, mix, none of that shit. Right. And he's just pushing buttons, and he calls himself a DJ. When you see Paris Hilton getting $300,000 for a gig, and I remember doing parties at like fucking 14 years old, and I was happy if I got $150. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you just see how the game has evolved.
$50 too.
Yeah, because $150 had to go back into records too, and we had to buy doubles. And at one point vinyl was expensive as hell. You know what I'm saying? So I love how the game has evolved, but I just be wanting the people to know that this shit was for us, for people like us, and for people like myself to still be in it and still love it. It wasn't an easy ride. It was a rough ride. So for me to still be here and still love it and still contributing to the game, that goes to say how I feel about, the of hip hop in itself.
Hell yeah, like I always say, I'm glad me and Perez, we both was born the same year, 78. I'm glad we came up and was born in the late 70s and grew in the 80s, because we didn't have to grow to love hip hop. Like, it was already here. Like, we got to see it turn into what it became. Like you said, we from the Midwest and like to see MC Breed and fucking Richie Rich from the West Coast, and then you got it's like we had different areas we can always go to listen. Like rap had categories of rap. It was like going to a mall. If you want to hear the pimp shit, you can go fuck with 8 Ball and them. If you want to hear some gangster shit, you had everybody had their own little lanes. It was easy to pick and choose. And through that came a lot of creativity. Now it's just all mumbled together. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's still
no pun intended, right?
Rappers. Yeah.
You said no. It's all mumbled together. No pun intended.
Together. All puns intended with their asses with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like everybody. I like to call them the TCs, the trend chasers. You know what I'm saying? They hop from trend to trend. A few years back, it was the snap and pop shit. And then, everybody wanted to be trap rappers and shit. Now you got, I call it lullaby rap, because that's what the shit sound like rockabye baby shit. You know what I'm saying? And they just throw a type of beat behind it. And I try not to knock these young motherfuckers, but I can't fuck with that shit, man.
No, I don't fuck with it. Like, and it has nothing to do, because like I said, it's easy for people to change certain narratives when you have an opinion on shit. I don't give a fuck about what nobody think what I'm saying. I'm saying what the fuck I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say. I don't give a fuck how you feel, because I don't give a fuck about nobody's feelings. I'm hard on, I don't give a fuck about a bitch feelings. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about a female. I'm just talking about a bitch that I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about her feelings. So why the fuck should I give a fuck about a dude? You know what I'm saying? How the fuck he feels. So at the end of it all, I'm gonna speak my piece. If I don't like your fucking music, I don't like your music. If I don't like it for a specific reason, I don't agree with it. I don't smoke. I don't drink, I don't sip lean, and I don't pop pills. I don't understand you. I don't understand you culturally. Exactly. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the music. It's just your stupid-ass fucking face. I don't understand why you look like that. I don't understand why you look like a dope fiend. I don't understand why you think it's cute to say you smoke dope and you do it. I don't understand that, because I remember calling motherfuckers customers and selling motherfuckers weed and shit like that, and selling crack for like a month or two in my life, and just seeing people that were just fiended out. I remember when that shit was shunned and frowned upon. Now it's like to be a fucking junkie, it's cool, and that shit's never going to be cool, because some of us have parents that went through substance abuse, and we know what it's like to have these, being a child of a parent that's a substance abuser, and that shit is not cool. So some of y'all young dudes out there, y'all out there producing children and putting children in the world, and your children have to see you be a fucking have all the tendencies of a crackhead. I don't think that shit is cool. I think a lot of dudes need help. I think a lot of dudes are going through it. A lot of dudes have a lot of emotional problems. A lot of people are depressed, and they don't know how to cope with their depression, so they get high and they do drugs, and they think that shit is cool, and they're trying to make it like it's cool, but you're really hurting, and you're really in pain. You're really in pain, and you're trying to numb the pain by self-medicating through narcotic, and that's not going to help you. When the fucking narcotic wears, you're still going to be in pain. That's why you smoke all fucking day, because you keep trying to numb the pain that's never going to go away. Get help. You know what I'm saying? There's help out there. It's help for all of us, We've all suffered through shit. And there ain't no way in hell you in this music business and you ain't never been depressed before, because this shit will depress the fuck out you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who you are. We done seen the greatest of the greats.
Physically, mentally. It does take its toll on you, and that's some of the realest shit that any guest could have said about the drugs. We never really touched on it like that, because it's almost a fad to be addicted to fucking shit that's going to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's dying
from lean. They're dying from
and pills. Nobody. This is what I'm saying. Nobody has escaped the death where we seeing your favorite rappers having fucking seizures because they want to get high, and then they selling it to you. Not selling it, physically, but selling the experience to you like it's a great experience. But a motherfucker had a seizure that you can die from. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like it's the death culture is for sale. I try to give people life. I know I talk my shit. I know some people don't like me because I talk shit, but I never told you to do anything that was going to jeopardize your health mentally, physically, or your fucking safety. I just talk shit, but I'm always going to give you some information that's going to save your life. People watch me lose over 100 pounds. I put it publicly out there. I didn't have to do that shit, but I put it to the public, showing people, this is what you do. This is how you eat healthy. This is how you lose weight. This is how you do this. I did that for the public because I wanted the world to live. You know, I didn't say to you, yo, sip lean, fuck that, this is cool. Nah, that shit ain't cool. Even when I was drinking and there used to be young dudes around me like, yo, let me drink, I'd be like, fuck out of here. Like, I'm not going to help create a monster. I'm not going to help influence you to be fucked up. I know what this shit is doing to me. And I haven't drank alcohol in over, it'll be like 15 years now.
Hey, congratulations, man.
And for those who drink and get fucked up, do you? I'm not saying, you know, one thing about me, I don't tell people what to do, but I'm also not into glorifying shit that's fucked up for the purpose of, you know, misery loves company type shit. Because I be seeing a lot of people who I know is miserable as shit, but they act like they're not miserable, and they act like what they doing is cool, but they really going through it. I'm not into that. I'm going to tell motherfuckers, yo, look, this shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this shit. Don't partake in this shit. And if you're a little dude, you know what I'm saying, there's more to the world than drinking and smoking and fucking chicks raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's way more to the world than that shit because it is nothing in that for you. Like, you're not going to be able to sustain after a while. After a while, it's going to catch up to you. You watching motherfuckers dying, catching HIV. You watching people going into the system, because if you go to the system and you in fucking jail, then you buried alive. You know what I'm saying? Everybody says watch 13 on Netflix, but how many motherfuckers is really watching it? Watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? Watch the shit, you know, but you watch things that's not going to help you, but it's things out there that's giving you the information, giving you the game. Like, growing up, game was sold, not told. There was no game. You know what I'm saying? Now you got people on the YouTube giving you the game. Like, I had to get the game the hard way. I had to get it, beg, borrow, and steal, and through experience. Now people are actually giving you the game. People are going on YouTube telling you shit that's going to help you survive and help you get to the next level, and you're still not fucking listening? People are giving you the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
nobody gave me the game. I had
to
fucking
encyclopedias and everything in their hand. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is
exactly.
Google search. Any fucking thing will pop up. I do the shit all the fucking time.
Yo, I might do that shit probably like 20 times in a day, and I'm fancy with the shit. I use my voice command for everything. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't typing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm using my voice command. I'm like, yo, you know, or perpendicular. I just say random shit, and perpendicular means, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, you know. But it has to be what the problem is. We have to make gangster cool. We have to make intelligence cool. We have to make that the norm, because being intelligent has been poorly represented by certain people that look like fucking dweebs. Now, in the defense of the young dudes out there, when Rakim came out, he was intelligent, but he looked cool. He had on the jewelry. He had on the clothing that looked like the drug dealer or the neighborhood hustler. So whatever he said was dope. You're not going to want to fucking rap and be like, you're not going to want to be intelligent and the motherfucker got on a dashiki or some shit like that. Now, dashikis became a fad, but at one point that shit wasn't cool to wear. So you got people that's wearing, you know, wraps around there and saying it's not a skirt. You got all types of dudes wearing funny-ass clothes and funny hats and trying to give you knowledge. Yeah, you have to one thing about the youth, they have to want to be like you. They have to want to be like you. They have to want to emulate you. Once they want to emulate you, then you could always steer them in different directions. And I think a lot of the artists know they have the power. It just so happens that the corporations don't want the youth to be steered in the right direction. They want them to be steered in the wrong direction. So anybody that's a part of telling them do things that's going to be harmful, they push the money in that. Once I heard Future say, I don't even sip lean like that, but it's just cool to rap about because everybody's doing it. I was like, oh, shit, we thought he was, you know, Mr. Dirty Sprite and all this other shit. And he basically said, this is bullshit. I don't do that shit like that.
Right.
Because I try to tell the young dudes, I said, if you think these motherfuckers are high or drunk all day, you're stupid. 50 Cent made a song called High All the Time and then say in the interview, I don't even smoke or drink.
Right.
People didn't even pay attention to that.
Drink. But he
said
right,
he made a song called I Smoke That Good Shit. Now that Dom Perignon don't need, I get high all the time, I smoke that good shit. And then told you, I don't even smoke.
Yep.
It's just music. But that shit has been where people are just really, really internalizing other people's words and not realizing that corporate America is selling product to you to kill you, to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind, and to keep you unfocused and unaware, so they could pass these amendments and pass these laws, and people like Donald Trump and different politicians could get elected and pass bills and shit, and you know nothing about because you're fucking high out of your mind. You think the average crackhead on the street knows what's going on in politics? They just know what's going on through, chit chatter and the shit that people are talking about, but they don't know. And it's the same way with the youth. They just talk about shit because it's a fad to talk about, and it's pop culture. Yeah, it's pop culture to talk about what's going on, but you really don't have no real insight of what's happening.
Yeah.
A lot of people know Donald Trump, but they don't even know who the fuck the vice president is. You ask them who's the vice president, they can't even tell you.
Exactly. They more in tune with the memes and all the shit that they gonna see on social media and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to knowing what the fuck he's signing when you see him on TV signing these papers and shit.
This is what I'm saying, and how that's gonna affect you.
That's what he's been doing like a motherfucker since he's been in there. Every time
and then when you go,
signing something.
Look, and then when you go to the drugstore to pick up your medication, and they tell you, as of January 1st, we don't no longer take that. We don't no longer take that, or as of January such and such, we don't take that medical coverage anymore. That's that shit he just signed. You wasn't paying attention. So now you're figuring out how you're going to get your asthma pump or how you're going to get certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he just signed off some shit to take that shit away from you. But again, you wasn't paying attention because you was high. You didn't even know how to fight. You didn't even know how to go to your local politicians, your city councilmen, and ask for certain things and fight for certain things because you was fucking high. You was drunk. But let a new record come out, every little stupid dance. And like I said, entertainment has became like the way they use that shit against us now. Like, we all love rap. We all love rap music. We love hip-hop culture. We love all that shit. But look how that shit has been used against us. That shit started out to uplift us and for us to use it against them. Now they found a way to use that shit against us.
Yeah, it's almost like we can keep them focused right here if we keep them focused on this dumb shit.
Yep.
It ain't uplifting. It ain't really no artist like on a major scale. You have to go to the underground, and these kids don't want to do no digging and diving to find shit anyway. They want what's right there, easy, accessible, right in their fucking face. I can download this today. It's streaming on my top chats. It's doing this. It's doing that. You know what I'm saying? But
now for the youth that might be listening, we all got ratchet in us. We all got turn up in us. We all have, because I remember when motherfuckers was getting hyphy and all that shit, that might have considered to be like, you know what I'm saying, getting ratchet and motherfuckers getting crunk. That might have been considered to be get ratchet and all that. But it wasn't nothing. It was just having a good time. It wasn't like drugs being pushed with that shit. It didn't come with, drugs. And once they started introducing like ecstasy and pills, and then they started saying, no, this is MD. I don't even know the fucking word letters for that shit. But this is not that. This is the purest form of it. I'm like, yo, all that shit is still made in a laboratory. Even when you're smoking all this weed and the shit is called Girl Scout cookies and all this shit. That shit is GMO weed. It's not grown in the fucking field or the forest. That shit is made. It's made. So what's the difference between them making weed and making corn? And people say, no, but weed is pure. But they made the fucking weed. They took different strains of weed and fucking cloned the shit and grew it. It's the same fucking process as the food. So how you sitting here trying to tell me?
Shit. Same thing with the fucking meat and vegetables. Well,
this is what I'm saying. But put people to say, oh, broccoli is fake and this is fake. But I'm smoking fucking Gorilla Glue and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
nothing wrong
take
with that.
a couple callers.
Okay.
Before we get out of here, let's take a couple callers. We got one here.
Go.
Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Yo, what's up, man? I got a question that I was thinking of, and I actually never even asked it to you, Prez, or Mac Day, but I want Doggie Diamonds to answer this, too. I watched your Big Daddy Kane interview, and you posted about it the other day saying, like, you could see the fan in me. And I was just wondering, if you could have one guest, who would it be, or was Big Daddy Kane your one guest that you definitely wanted? And all three of y'all can answer that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. I'm gonna tell a quick story because I know they got to answer also. When I interviewed Kane that day, because people don't know that interview is about 9 years old. That's an old interview.
Wow.
That's not a new interview. That's an old interview. But I have something that I do a series called Hidden Jewels because I have maybe hundreds of interviews that never saw the light of day, just different time and different reasons. You can see that it's not in HD. But when I interviewed Kane that day, I said, that's it. I don't see no rapper. There's no rapper no higher, in my opinion. I don't even know who I could talk to. That was it. But, of course, I continued another 8 years, 9 years. And then when I interviewed Pete Rock last year, my Pete Rock interview, I said I quit. Because that was it for me. I'm like, yo, I just interviewed somebody who I copied. I wish y'all could look at my SP1200 right now. I got an SP1200 sitting right in front of me as I'm speaking to you. I copied everything about this man. I found out what hi-hat he used. I found out everything that he was doing, and I copied and I emulated it as much as possible to be Pete Rock. So after I interviewed him, I said I quit. And you know what he said to me? Nah, you can't quit. We need you out here. You're the only one reporting that real shit. I said, well, if the OG told me not to quit, and he's looking at what I'm doing, that's all we want. Honestly, that's all we want is for the people that we look up to say, good job. That's why when people do something good, I always like to tell them, yo, you did a good fucking job on that, because that's what we do it for. But it's no more fans in this shit. That's why I always say, yo, I'm fanboy. I was fanned out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown-ass masculine dude. But again, when it's certain people sitting before you that you grew up, you know, idolizing, just standing right before you, like, hold up, Pete Rock, no matter, Pete Rock retweeted me? Fuck y'all. And then on the East Coast, we have somebody called Ralph McDaniels. He started Video Music Box. He's like one of the founders of media, and this is before Pump It Up, you know, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? This is Ralph McDaniels who started a lot of shit. And once I met him, and he said, yo, I love what you're doing, I said, well, nobody could tell me anything because the OG gave me that cosign, and it wasn't, you know, to patronize me. Like, it was authentic. Like, yo, and then when they start naming the shit you do, like, yo, you really into what I'm doing. You really watch me. So that was it. Big Daddy Kane, I was going to quit. And then when I didn't quit the Big Daddy Kane thing, I went to, I was going to quit after Pete Rock. But that's really it. I can't picture interviewing anybody else and me really having, like, a real big fan moment. That was really it.
Yeah, those are both great. I mean, I'd love to hear them on this show. You know, my favorite.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly. We've been trying to get Big Daddy Kane, but one of my favorites would be, it's actually two. I like to. We still haven't had Master P yet, but Kool Mo D too, because really Kool Mo D was my first real favorite rapper. Like when I was a kid, because I like the glasses, I like this whole shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and he was cold at the lyrics too. They couldn't fuck with him. He was smooth with his shit. So, like, if we could get him, because I tried to hit him up a few times, but them would be some of the favorite ones. Because we already had Spice One. That was, and we had him on several times. So it's always good to have Spice, but he was always one of my favorites, right along with Pop.
For me, it definitely it was DMC, man, because I remember listening to the Rock Box, you know what I'm saying, King of Rock when I was a kid, third grade. So to interview the guy was like, wow, it's just surreal. And then the other one, Fresh Kid Ice and Two Live Crew. Actually, the whole Two Live Crew. Because I went in musically, my first tape I think was King of Rock or Raising Hell, one of the two. But then my friend's brother, he had a dub of Two Live Is What We Are. We want some pussy on it. So I went from Run DMC straight to Two Live Crew. So man, to interview them guys, that was a dream come true, man. Real talk. Real talk. All the shit I did in Murder Dog was wonderful, but man, to interview those guys on our own show, man, you can't really express how much that shit means. Real talk, man.
Yeah, Chuck D was cool too. That was a cool one too, because that was like midnight on my birthday. Like, there's certain shows we can do. It's cool because we didn't even know we was gonna get it, and they was like, "Y'all ready for it?" Fuck yeah, we made sure we was ready for it. And to be able to present it out, and people say, "Hey," like, and have my mom listen to an episode, like, "Man, I didn't know y'all was doing it like that." You know what I'm saying? That's a nice little interview. Those type of shits make it worth it. A person like you on, Doggie, because ever since I subscribed to the page, and I heard about the Doggie Diamond TV through Star. And because I was fucking with Star Heavy too. He said he don't got no fans, but shit, I'm a fan of his shit. I always liked his radio style and how he do it. I always, everybody hate the asshole, but I always like the assholes because to me, they just telling it like it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta like him, but you gonna respect what the fuck he got coming. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like him. Objective hate or whatever the fuck he called it. Like, I ain't gonna agree with everything he like or everything he say, but he be speaking that real shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I call my shit Doggie Diamonds No Filter, because I was able. That's why I call my shit Doggie Diamonds No Filter. The washing machine stop.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's why I call it Doggie Diamonds No Filter, so I was able to say what the fuck I want to do and do it, because I'm going to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I have no holds bar approach to anything. Only people I'm cautious that I talk around is that my elders and children. Other than that, anything in between, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say whatever. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're my peers. But the elders and the children, they're the only ones who's going to get the rated G version. Everybody else, I don't even think it has enough X's for the shit that's going to come out of my mouth. You know, and that's just the reality of it. But, who would the game, about the game, the love of the game. I never thought in a million years that I would be able to get up every day of my life and make a living off of something that's my hobby, something I kind of like do. I dedicate a lot of my time to it, but it's not a job to me because I like to do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I never thought that I could make a living. I never thought that I didn't never have to punch in the clock. I never thought that I would be my own boss. I never thought that I would create something to where I don't have to answer to nobody. Like, I could walk around, literally in my fucking underwear and just get on the computer and do some shit and then make it go viral and it touch 2 million people in a month and shit. Like, who knew that? I didn't know that. So for that, I'm thankful for. So that's why I have to start showing a little bit more appreciation. Like I said, I'm just anti-fuck shit. And I want people to know I really don't fight for me because I'm not in a bad position. I'm not destitute. I fight for the people that's coming up in the game, that love the game, that study the game, who's not going to get their just due. That's why so many artists who are blackballed and unfairly treated, they always come to me and I interview them. And people say, "Oh, you're interviewing has-beens." No, but a lot of people have a story. A lot of people wasn't done right. So I'm like,
everybody's
fuck
story
that.
Need
like,
to be heard, man. Somebody
I'm like,
listen.
Fuck that. We're not gonna play this big bank take little bank shit. If you have a story and you contributed to hip hop, I'ma talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. Some people like some people like to go to the new artist that's out, but I'm like, he don't have a fucking story. He don't even have an album out. What are we gonna talk about? Two singles that he did? It doesn't make any sense. I had somebody, this dickhead hit me on Twitter like, "Yeah, you only like to interview artists that were hot 25 years ago." I said, "So what? I guess I'm supposed to be interviewing your struggle-ass raps, and you ain't even hot for 25 seconds or 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You've contributed nothing to the game to make it to where it's at today." So me, it's more of a paying homage. Like, if I'm a fan, if I listen to your record at one point and I meet you, I want to do an interview. You don't have to have a record out. I just want to tell you in person how much I appreciate you. So that's why you'll see interviews that's coming out with me and people like OC and, King Just and people that's just like, "Yo, I love that shit when you did that shit," because what people don't understand, hip-hop and music in general is the soundtrack of your life, and it gives you time frames. You remember, like you said, I remember in 3rd grade listening to DMC. It takes you back to certain times in your life when this song was out and that song was out. And when this song was out, I remember I felt her butt. I remember when her song was out, I remember I had a fight with, the kid across the street. When that song was out, I had this type of haircut, or I remember these sneakers.
Yeah.
That's what that used to do to us. So that's why we love, it's a certain nostalgia with hip-hop and music. Like, the New Edition movie is out, and, New Edition is older than us, but I can remember being a little kid and seeing that shit and just the effect that it had, and when certain songs was playing in a New Edition movie, I'm like, I remember when that was out. I remember when that haircut was out. I remember, and that's what it used to do for us. So when we see people like Spice One and you get to interview them, you just want to tell them like, yo, I remember the time that you XYZ, because that shit is real. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, I remember the time XYZ and you did this and you did that, and because it was a soundtrack of your life. You remember, everything. You remember when your fucking teeth fell out, what song was out. You remember when your first day of school, what song was out. You remember the summer you had to go down south for summer, or you was on punishment, what you listened to all the time. You remember making hip-hop tapes in the house and taping off the radio, and, you remember all that shit, and that's what's missing from the game. And these little dudes will never know anything about that, and that's the problem. So that's why they don't love it the way we love it. That's why, they confuse our passion with anger and bitterness. Like, they're just hating, they're just old and bitter. No, I really, really grew up in this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's so much in me. It's so much a part of my DNA. Like, shit, I remember when I used to walk, I wouldn't step on the cracks because the crack was the snare, and if I stepped on the crack, it was off beat. Dead ass serious. You know what I'm saying? So I would walk in like a 1/16 triplet. I wouldn't for producers, they know what I'm talking about, because that's where the drums lay in boom bap. So if you step on like the 1/8, which would be the crack, you're off beat because the kick never lands where the snare is at. So I would walk like that. Like, that's how crazy, that's how much this shit was in me, and you're doing it subconsciously.
Motherfucker right there.
Yeah, you're doing it subconsciously and not even realizing, look, 90s is what? The 90s is what? The beats were all...
Right.
No, all the beats were in the 90s. No, the beats were in the 90s, 90 BPMs. 85 to 90 BPMs. How fast is your...
Okay, the RPM.
Listen, I'm talking about, the BPMs of your heart is what? What's a healthy heart? Like in the 90s, right?
The 90s, right.
Low, like 90. The 90s is the golden era, and the BPMs of the music was the 90s.
Right.
All that shit is the 90s. All that shit coincide. People don't even pay attention to that.
I sure didn't.
But if you listen to music now, the way the music plays now, it doesn't coincide with the rhythm of your heart no more. That's why motherfuckers is crazy. It's all off. It's all off. A lot of things is off. The frequencies is off. Yeah. So that's why motherfuckers just do crazy drugs and get high and just do fucking music, because all that shit is off. But I know interviewing me is tough sometimes, because I end up like kind of interviewing myself.
I could talk to you for 20 hours about that.
I'm about to say,
we were just about to get into sound vibration, moving giant rocks, creating pyramids. But real shit, man. You're speaking some real fucking shit that's deeper elevation that people don't even fucking comprehend. But Doggie Diamonds, we got our other guests coming. But before we go with you, brother, I want you to give everybody your social media, because I want them to check you out on the regular, man.
First of all, you can start with Doggie Diamonds TV. It's on YouTube. It's also actually a website, doggiediamondstv.com. But Doggie Diamonds TV is YouTube. Videos are uploaded damn near every day. I do live streams. I do all types of activity on there. Make sure you click the bell next to the subscribe. If you subscribe, also click the bell. That's how you'll get the notification to your phone when I upload a new video, or via email, or both, whatever you want. Then I also have a podcast called Doggie Diamonds No Filter. You can find that on SoundCloud and iTunes. Just put in Doggie Diamonds No Filter. It's going to pop right up. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm Doggie Diamonds on everything. DOGGIEDIAMONDS on everything. If anybody say I tried to get a hold of you and you said you couldn't, you're lying. Because there's only one me, and I'm on everything. And even my email is info@DoggieDiamondsTV. So if you got, if you want a commercial, if you want a shout out, if you want to sponsor a podcast, whatever, get at me. We'll talk business.
Hey,
and I want to thank y'all for having me, man. I always like when people ask me questions and shit, because nobody ever asks me shit. I always got to ask everybody stuff. So I like to be on the other side of the chair sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I was like, see, you always asking the questions. It's time for somebody to ask you a few of them, if you don't mind.
I
love it. Linked up, man.
All right, so thank y'all. Thank y'all. Like I said to the people also, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all log on this website. Support. I know we say that a lot of times, and I know y'all think y'all support, but them shares are very important. Just like you can share Soulja Boy and Chris Brown fight videos or the beat videos, share stuff that you love. Stop being afraid to show your love for stuff and share it and like it, because the numbers mean a lot, and it's not about views sometimes. It's just about the shares and showing people that this is what you care about. Stop fucking showing love to what you hate and stop showing hate to shit that you love. I know that might go over some of the people's head, but when you get a minute to think about it, it'll hit you. I'm Doggie Diamonds. I'm out of here. Peace.
Right, thank you, brother. Thank you. Doggie Diamonds, hell of an interview, and make sure you go check him out. And like he said, same thing with us. Go to UGSforLife.com, hit that donation page, you know what I'm saying, so we can keep bringing you content and keep this platform available for your favorite artists. With that said, a guy hit me up out of nowhere, a mysterious man. I didn't know who the hell he was. Then he told me who his rap name was, and I recognized him. This is the guy that worked with 3 6 Mafia in the early days. Mm-hmm. Straight out of Memphis, Tennessee. This is Lil Noid. Let's bring him on, man. We usually go into music first, but I want to bring him on right away before we go into track. How you doing, Lil Noid?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just chilling.
Man, first and foremost, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you. The guy that just left, Doggie, what's his name? Doggie Diamonds?
Doggie Diamonds, yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I like his mindset. I like his whole philosophy about what the industry is, where it's going wrong. He made a lot of good key points. You know what I mean, about a lot of stuff that's going on, and a lot of it's kind of over people's heads. You may have to kind of play that again for them to catch it.
Yeah, real talk. Well, we was talking about the drug culture earlier, and he was talking about how they made it cool to sip lean and pills and this and that. And now you got a whole generation of kids that, man, they can't rap. What the fuck? They mumble. There's no substance in the music. There's no message. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy,
it's
man.
Not they took away the measuring stick. Okay, when you got a measuring stick, you can kind of tell what you putting into an ingredient. When they took that measuring stick away, it's almost like putting everybody in the same classroom at school. How the fuck can you determine what's retarded and what's up to pace? And that's exactly what's going on now with the music business. It's actually, from my perspective, from where I look at it, it didn't just happen like that. This wasn't nothing that just wasn't put into play like that. This is what's being perpetuated.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, definitely. And, well, you got to look at it like this, Lil Noid. In the 80s and early 90s, you had people at Capitol Hill attacking the shit out of rap. You had fucking Tipper Gore, fucking Cecil Loris Tucker, all these people, you know what I'm saying? Remember they were breaking the CDs in the streets, you know what I'm saying, the parents' rights groups and this and that. They couldn't defeat rap. Ice-T stuck up his middle finger and said, fuck you, so did 2 Live Crew and the other guys. They couldn't touch rap. But then, you know what I'm saying, after Pac and Biggie and everything, motherfuckers started to creep in slowly. You know what I'm saying? And slowly infect and poison the genre. And then over time, of course, well, we saw the effect. Right now it's sick. Basically, rap has a severe illness. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to be cured pretty much. But luckily, because of cats like yourself, it survives in the underground. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing nowadays, though, man? Before we get in your history, man, what are you still making music presently?
Yeah, I've been making music for the past couple of years. What I've been doing is a whole lot of online things until I kind of actually understood the business before I stepped back out. I didn't want to step back out unless I had the business completely understood. So it kind of take time when you have to learn on your own. It's not being taught to you. I'm glad I learned it that way. It's a whole lot better that way, but it's a lengthy process. You know what I'm saying? To kind of figure out where to go, how to go. And once I got that figured out, of course you can listen to my voice, and you know the very next thing was okay, what to do once we get this figured out, what to do with his voice, because of course I don't sound like Noid's band, you know.
Right.
I don't sound like that no more. So you know sometimes they can kill you. Some people won't accept that, but with that slight difference. But with that being said, I listened to a whole lot of New York music when I was incarcerated. I was locked up for 7 years. I didn't listen to a whole lot of Southern music at all. I actually had to catch up with Master P and them when I got out. Not that I wasn't into the Southern music. I was always into substance. And I noticed way back after Tupac died when Master P came on the scene, the substance had left. No knock to Master P because I believe he's a beautiful genius. I believe he's a genius of a businessman, very intellectual. It's so many aspects about him I admire. But the talent aspect of it, I noticed right then when Tupac passed, the level of acceptance with music changed. People began to accept, nah. Now, don't knock me when I say this, but I can tell you, wait, fucking people leave. I got another trick up my sleeve. I stepped with Pep to the back of the house, looked in.
All the lights are out.
Yeah. When I give you that, you understand what I'm saying, because I'm not knocking the P era, none of that, the Hot Boy era, none of that. To me, that was the beginning of it, because if you look at Lil Wayne and you talk to Gay Talk, and you go back to Lil Wayne and what I'm saying, you can kind of key in right to where it started. You see what I'm saying? Because Lil Wayne was the kind of the beginning with the tight jeans to make it exceptional, this, that, and this. But it actually started with the Hot Boys and Master P. They actually took a lot of character out of our artists and started making CD covers with 1,000 gold chains and rhinestones. So now you're not looking at this person no more. You're looking at shit that's all around them. You know what I'm saying? To me, that was where it first began. Now it looks very sick, but a disease don't look the same when it started than when it gets when it gets severe. It's just a severe thing now. But that's where it started at to me. Because like I said, in Southern music, I liked it. But for some reason, I couldn't latch on to it. Matter of fact, the substance was gone so bad, I had almost abandoned Southern music. I'm talking about when it come to we talking about a time with DMX, Ja Rule, Jay-Z, you know, people like this coming out. DMX, here we go again. The heat is on. Are you really ready to die? I'm in prison. I'm a gangster, so I feel that. You know what I'm talking about? Ice-T, the Tower. Fuck the police. See, I come from that. So when you give me nah, you can't knock me when it don't touch me, because I'm not used to that. I'm used to you.
Right.
I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. 666 Mafia. You felt that shit. You ride down the street and get a ticket and ride off and get another one.
Right. Hell
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And I couldn't replace that with no. Even though I respected the hustle, I respect a lot of people hustle. To have complete wisdom, you got to have complete understanding. But I think it started right up in that area. Man, they got rid of Pac. It was implement time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Lil Noid, let's go way the fuck back. How did your roots begin with 3-6 Mafia? Or back then, it probably would have been true.
What it was, we had a neighborhood. My neighborhood, Bingham. That's why I praise my neighborhood the way I do. My mother and my father from my neighborhood, so it wasn't no getting away from anything I did. I could be found. But anyway, as I grew up in the hood, we had this neighborhood love. And one day we was outside of Juicy J's place, the 380 Bill, that we used to. I don't know what they call it now. And we was like, I think 100 deep, and we were demanding to get in the club for a certain price. And my cousin kind of pushed me in the back, like hard as hell, like rap. And I was like, I just rapped, and that's what happened. The whole Bill Street took to it, because I was one of those dudes that could beat on the table and rap and change the beat. So I was doing that on the glass, and it kind of fucked people up. And it threw him off. It threw Juice off, because he really didn't want to. he really didn't want to deal with my cousin and my home. They were some real assholes. I mean, assholes, genuine. I mean, they love to be. I tell you, they're assholes. So that's actually how I got in. And once he heard me, he was like, "What the hell you doing standing out there with them?" And then he put me in, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah, what was, we've had Paul on the show several times. We had Lord Infamous, rest in peace, on the show several times before he passed. What was Paul and Lord Infamous like, and when did you meet them?
Me and Lord Infamous, we had a drug thing. We had a drug, we understood drugs, so we understood each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, Paul was a different entity. Me and Paul, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Paul really never liked me. Me and Fly had this song, Riding in the Chevy. And at the time, I had just met Juicy. But, Fly was on the song. And Fly was actually one of Paul's artists. In some kind of way, it became some feelings because he was actually on one of Juicy CDs with one of Paul's artists. And that kind of didn't, I don't know how that played out in Paul's head. You know what I mean? So, we didn't really never attach to each other too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but you were more cool with Juicy then.
You can acknowledge that without looking at it and talking about it and making it have so much power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about the history of music. It's been hate going on since the Temptations, since the OJs. Why is it such a thing that we blast so much now? Just, I know. You see it and you don't see it. It's not that big. It's like everybody focus on the negative. I think Homeboy just spoke on that. Nobody don't speak on the positive because all they speak on the negative. Even when they got something good to say, it's about the negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my big thing about Memphis. I feel like it's a dark cloud over a beautiful place because there's so many guys who are talented, but nobody really want to work with each other in a genuine way. Everybody's hung up on this. I could do this and I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Jordan didn't get those rings by himself.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
nobody did. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did. For real.
Nobody did.
It's got to be a valiant effort from everybody,
Right. So
and I love Memphis, man. I used to live in Memphis, man. My mother still live in Memphis. I graduated from high school in Memphis. And I remember them times when, like you was talking about being down at 380 Bill, like people don't understand, like Bill Street, back in them days, it's a different scene than what it is now. So you go down there now, and you see how it is. Back then, it was live and wide. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember being on the street behind,
love. You could feel it.
That motherfucker used to be juking though. Hell yeah.
Guys would go juke, man. They would go juke at the club. They would meet up and dance. To dance. They didn't meet up with colors on and shit. They would meet up and dance, and it wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it went from. Everybody, if you watch Soul Train, I'm gonna trip you out. If you watch Soul Train, this shit look funky. Okay, everybody come down the Soul Train line, they look real funky. Another couple come down, they look funky. Another couple coming down, they look jazzy. But every couple that came down, they may be doing the rerun and bebop, but all of them were determined to look different. They were determined to have their own lane when they came down that Soul Train line.
Yeah.
And that left. Exactly. Not everybody. You go in the club, you got 10 Lil Wayne, a Jeezy, a Yo Gotti. Nigga, be yourself. Everybody's so hung up on something else.
Yeah, you're real talk. That's real shit, man. The game is definitely twisted right now. But so you was cooler with Juicy J and them. You know what I'm saying, and Project Pat. You got any early memories of Juicy and Project Pat?
Well,
what were they like?
I used to go see Pat with Juicy. When Pat was locked up in jail and he first got locked up on his first show, I used to go downtown and visit him with him sometimes. But that's basically it with him. Now, me and Player Fly had a real relationship because he was like my buddy. He was like the only one out of the group that, we was the only one that can kind of understand each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everybody else was like group members, but we were the only ones that could understand each other. You know, we would sit up all night, snort cocaine, and it was like my brother at that time in the group. It was no one closer to me than him because we were so much intertwined with each other. South Memphis had became my second home, and Binghamton became his second home. That explains Blackout. The Nobody Need Nobody tracks. All they come through way of me. You know, I even introduced Lil Chat to DJ to Juicy J at the time. Because me and Juice was just that cool. If I was to bring somebody to him, it wouldn't be a lot of question about it. It was like, okay, let me hear him. You know, so,
Right.
like I said, I like Crunchy Black. He came after me, and to be honest, to be completely honest with y'all, and I don't want any gripes about this. I don't want no bullshit about it. I was the only guy in the group that really was like a little gangster. Now Pat was too, but Pat was gone. Pat would rob a damn dice game. It's 10 niggas and this big ass nigga with a gun. You know, it's just kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? You know, but Pat wasn't no fucking joke, you know what I'm saying? But not to take away from Pat, I'm 130 pounds now. I walk up to you and do 10 times what Pat would do. Because I felt like I had to. I was small. I picked up this lifestyle, so that's what I had to do. So really, I didn't have one. When I did music with Juicy J, it was like we just robbed somebody. I dropped a track with Juicy, and then I got back out in the streets. He didn't know what the fuck I had just did when he recorded me. Ain't no telling what the fuck I had just done when he picked me up. You know, like now, it probably would freak him out if he knew some of the shit that I had did before he put me in the car. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it got weird because I quit being around my hustlers and my dope boys and my friends and started rapping. And they kind of hurt me a little bit because I wasn't living off rap. I didn't actually know where to live. I was sprung on cocaine. I did not know where to stay. I was damn near homeless in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Very close to homeless. Very, very close to homeless. But nobody knew it. Then I was a kid. I was a teenager, but nobody knew that. Everybody thought, okay, I guess he with them, he doing all right. You know, my family kind of turned their back on me because they felt like I was being praised in the streets, but you live with us, but you ain't paying no rent, you ain't got no money, you ain't never got nothing, so what you rapping with them ain't nothing. And then I had a type of family that wanted to belittle me and down me because of my father's side of the family. So not only did I have to come over my own struggles, I had people that I admired or were supposed to love me shitting and pissing down my back repeatedly. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the anger and the rage that I went to the streets with, it was easy for me to survive it because I woke up like that. Some people, you know, I fucking woke up like that day. I was hungry, I ain't had nothing to eat, I wasn't going to ask nobody. I was embarrassed about these things. I was fucking embarrassed about these things, so I couldn't come to nobody and talk to nobody about it because I was embarrassed. How do you tell somebody your name, the hottest shit, you got a got a name around the city, and you don't got many clothes, you don't got a fucking place to stay, you don't got a car. It was hard to explain these things, and after a while, people started looking at me wanting to know. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't tell. You know. I had a respect for Juicy that was different. I knew he bought his studio equipment. I watched him rent the club. I watched him pay for everything out of his pocket. So for me, at that time, to ask him to help me was like asking too much. You already did that for me. You know what I mean? So maybe if I had reached out and just said, man, listen, I really don't got nowhere to stay. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I don't know how long I'm going to be rapping with you. It probably would have happened different. But, you know, my mama found my first gun at 14. Shit, I wanted to tell her what was happening, but they had put a gun to my head and put a gun in my stomach, and they had threatened me twice. I ain't want the third time to happen. And maybe if I had said some, that's why I want these young dudes to start talking to somebody. Don't hold that shit, because I held that shit for a long time, and I became a beast. And I'm proud of the person I am. I'm not taking away from that. I'm very proud of the person I am, but it's certain things that if I had reached out for some help, especially with a guy like him, I probably could have implemented certain things it wouldn't have been so hard for me. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I ended up getting off track with the music. I didn't never know it was gonna do nothing no way. Then I was almost homeless. To pull up at a McDonald's with his girlfriend in the front seat, and it get tiresome when he asks you what you want. You know, the next time you go get some ribs or something, get you a rib sandwich or a bologna sandwich. After a while, with you sitting there and he order her some food and order you some food, you kind of, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like the little fucking bitch. So I fucking got a fucking gun and said, you know what, no more bitch shit for me. If a nigga got it, I'm taking it. So, you know, that was just my mindset. And my neighborhood didn't breed dope boys. It breed goons and robbers. So it's just like if you come from a GD neighborhood in Chicago, that's what the fuck you gonna be. You come from a Vice or a Pyru neighborhood, that's what you gonna be. So, you know, that's what I ended up being. Just around a lot of robbers. Right.
Can't walk home from school in a Latin King neighborhood if you're folk. You know,
right.
Vice versa.
You couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my addiction to cocaine was terrible. I had a terrible addiction to cocaine. It was cool in the daytime when you looked at me. It was like, okay, yeah. But at night, like when I needed somewhere to go, you see, it gets different. All your friends are in the house. You standing outside. It's cold. You know, it's
Right.
an addiction now. You know, it's like,
Hell
whoa.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You by
Out there
yourself
on
and
that
the
blade.
beast right, you out there on that blade, and what you don't know, that beast you becoming, people can see it, but you can't until you get away from it. I had to get locked up and look back at what I had became. I couldn't look at it when I was like right on top of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just couldn't. I had to touch a couple dead bodies and really, you know, go to the end and look back like, God damn, that was wild. You know,
was
right.
your coke habit?
How
bad was your coke habit?
It was bad enough for me to get up every day and make somebody pay for it.
That's pretty goddamn bad, yeah. But you were a little kid at the time. I mean, you was only like, what, 15, 14?
But you know what, that kind of anger and rage in you, if you ever wonder why somebody shoot somebody 10 times, it's not that person man's car. It's like overkill. It was rage. I had so much hidden rage in me from family issues, broken homes, and it's like, I went to school in Memphis State and did gymnastics. I had the first Apple IIe computer in my hood. I went to Sacramento with my hood at 9 and 13. I was so fucking different than the people in my hood. I was so fortunate and blessed. But on one end, that was fortunate from my father's side. But what I lived around every day, it's like a kid in school. They can go to school and the teacher can work with them, but when they go back home, that's going to
it's a whole different world and shit.
Right, it's a whole different world. If the home is broken, the little bit they did at school ain't gonna matter. But see, I didn't have the school thing. I just had broken. You know, I was a kid trying to put it together. Like, why? My daddy was drunk. My daddy was a junkie. He fucked with the cocaine smoke. He smoked the crack off and on. I just was like, all my uncles smoked crack. All my cousins sold dope. My uncle sold heroin in New York. Rest in peace, my Uncle Crow. And Gotti, auntie used to go up there and sit with him. These real kingpins and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was expected to do a lot on the street side, but I was never expected to do nothing on the music side. That's scary. You know what I'm saying? When your family expects big things from you on the street side where you just might die, but they have no dreams for you on the popular side.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm super glad you're here because, you know, when you live that life at that young of an age, you can lose it very quickly. So we're glad you're here, brother. Let's go on to another track, then we're going to take a couple callers. This one's, you know what I'm saying, Can't Give You the Game, man. Let everybody know.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's a Crunchy Black remake, if you listen to it real close.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely. What's this on?
1032.
Lil Noid, I want to go back for a second, then I'm going to bring out a caller. But when you guys was first dropping those tapes, you know what I'm saying, back in the early 90s, you know, what was the overall reception that you got from the people in Memphis?
Hey, man, it's so different. You know, that shit freaked me the fuck out when I came back because Memphis wouldn't really accept nobody else's music. Memphis was only fuck with Memphis music. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, during 3-6's reigning era, if you were to play Tupac, and I don't give a fuck what you play, that shit would have to go off. We would look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? But when I got back, the Memphis people don't fuck with no Memphis artists, and they fuck with everybody outside the city. You see what I'm saying? That's just how different it was. People, those tapes, man, you could take a box of tapes to Easy, one store, in particular Easy, Car Stereo. He'll call his brother Abraham. Abraham might call another one. And, man, you might run through 600 or 700 tapes at $3 and $4 a pop. Man, this was fuck the CD money. Let's talk some real goddamn money. They was making real money off the tapes. The tapes made the money. Now, I know CDs and you know, the download stuff, that's the future now. But those tapes, man, you will be amazed. I promise you, bro, you will be amazed. Once you leave H&HW distributing with the white guy Stewart, he used to do all of them. Man, everybody went to them. Criminal Miami, Juicy. I even found some 2 Live Crew people down there at one point talking to these people. But the perception with those tapes, man, it would spread wildfire. You know how things go fast, go viral? Viral is not new. Viral is just something that's new online. Those tapes would go viral. It was commonplace. It was like a religion. Everybody knew that when this came out, everybody go get it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, so when I see diehard fans now, it don't surprise me at all because I know, you know, it's like that music had us hypnotized. So when they used the name Hypnotized Minds, I mean, that made a whole lot of sense, man. They had us hypnotized with their music. And I'm glad that we had that era the way we did because if we listen to a lot of music now, it's like they kind of pulling from that a lot, especially Lord Infamous.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying shout out to Lord Infamous. We got the homie Sin from France, man. He's a huge fan of Memphis music. Man, he's got a couple questions for you. What's up, Sin?
Yes, Cynic Star, yeah. Yes, hi Scott and McJ, hi Brandon, hi Lil Noid, yes. When you was with Triple Six Mafia, back in the day, you had Carmike, you had Lil Jewel, Lil Jean, and a lot of people know Oreo was part of 36 Mafia back in the day in '94, and how would you feel now? A lot of people doesn't know about this era, especially the young people, you know.
I think I heard him right. What was he asking me one more time?
He was asking about you know what I'm saying, the early days of the 666 Mafia with you and Carmike, Lil Jewel, Lil Jen.
Yeah, Lil Jewel, Lil Jen. All these people, the people now don't know you. They were in 36 Mafia, part of 36 Camp.
Yeah. The thing about that is that I think Juicy announced me on the Killer Clan. I think it was the Killer Clan. He had this red tape we put on the front, featuring the new member 666 Mafia. So actually, like the first ride in the Chevy in the late last night, it was kind of like a trial error to see, you know, how good people will receive me. And when they received me good, I became a 3-6 Mafia member. But the minute I became a member, I went straight to prison. So it was kind of like a curse and a blessing and a curse. I got the blessing, and the minute I got the blessing, it just was a straight curse. If I'm answering that right, I hope I'm answering this question right.
And you got the big hit, local hit with Mike, Let's Run a Train. It was a crazy track with Juicy also. Can you tell us about this track?
He just did a remake of it.
Yeah.
He did a remake of this track?
Yeah, it's the guy.
Oh, no, it was 94, Let's Run a Train with Carmike.
Yeah, we did a remake of it like a couple of weeks ago. Bitch, you ain't about shit, never gonna be about shit. Bitch, you never would. We did I kept the same first line with it, but I changed it up a whole lot. The track sound a whole lot better. They finna put like this greatest hits out with stuff like that on it. So I just went back and did a couple overs and sent it to some guys. I'm still not sure what they're gonna do with that yet. I gotta go back and check with them on that.
Yeah, I don't know about the devil shit. A lot of people think DJ Ball and Juicy Z was the unique originators, but you got Blackouts, of course, is one of the best Memphis devil shit producers who did for you, and also DJ Star, Lil Green, DJ Fila, rest in peace, and a lot of these DJs was big in Memphis for this devil shit. Can you tell us about this era of devil shit?
Hey man, you know what? To be honest with you, I hope I don't make anybody eerie when I said this. But during that era, that's what I was crazy about it. You know, just to hear that music slow down, 666, just to hear that shit slow down like that, and with that low bass line that Paul used to use and that hard kick. To me, I don't know what other people. I know Lord Infamous, he had a Ouija board. Lord Infamous would study anything. He don't give a damn what it is. He would actually study because he was actually a smart guy. He wasn't a dummy at all. But I really do think I was infatuated with the devil thing. To me, to this day, I still like to do that music. I love that sound. I like the psycho sounds. That's the music that just forever hold my heart. But people that like other music, they kind of course, you know, when they start paying for certain things, you have to do certain things that you probably that ain't your in particular favorite. So, you know, the devil shit is something that I think I love it. I hope they keep it around. I'm going to keep it around. I'm going to keep doing it. It just, I like that feel of the vibe with the music. I don't worship the devil. I'm not satanic. But I like horror movies. I like scary movies. Yeah. So, you know, if I like that entertainment, why wouldn't I use that entertainment? You kind of see what I'm saying?
Memphis don't get the credit for the horrorcore that they contributed. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact, you know, we had Lord Infamous on the show. He said he was heavily influenced by Gangsta Nip. You know what I'm saying? Were you listening to, you know, shit like that back in the day, Gangsta Nip and Ghetto Boys, Chucky, Assassins, records like that were real like grotesque and horrorcore, so to speak?
What was the question again? Did I listen to it?
Were you listening to like Gangsta Nip? You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that Rap A Lot was doing.
Man, listen, man, gangster, anything that was made like the Gangsta Nip, anything that was like that was Chucky's Child's Play, any scary movie we could use to turn it into the music. And we seen Catholic church where they had and it was eerie enough and it made you hungry and they turned out we would use it. To me, that's just the essence of 3-6. To me, every member is etched in stone with that. And to me, I couldn't get around it at that point. At that time, man, I don't think I was listening to nothing else. I don't even remember listening to Tupac in that era. If it wasn't grim, dark music, I don't remember. Because, like I said, I grew up a fan of them before I was actually in the group. So I was actually a fan of all of that before I became a member. You understand what I'm saying? When I became a member, it just made me crazy about it. I was like psycho about it. That's where the psycho sounds came from. Because when I left 3-6 Mafia, I wanted that sound. I didn't want to leave 3-6 Mafia and do something with Blackout and lose the sound. So that's how we come up with psycho sound. To kind of keep that same feel that we had with the 3-6, like that PIMPNOYD, keep that name up out your mouth. It was the same. I wanted to keep that same feel because I knew then it was something to it. I didn't know what. Like, I couldn't see into the future, but I know it was something with that sound. And because it moved me. Other things I heard didn't move me. That shit actually moved me. I could be driving down the street with a perfectly good day and just drive by the police on purpose speeding. Just, you know, the 90s was crazy. I was crazy too. But man, I would never get away from that. That's what I like. That's my home.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You know, say Memphis. Yeah, what about Gangsta Pat, man? This guy, he does not get credit, you know what I'm saying, for what he contributed.
Man, Gangsta Pat, he sold a lot of albums too. He sold a lot of albums, dog. He sold a lot of fucking albums. But no one that's like a politic thing. That's political. When they start telling you, oh, it's the politics of this, oh, it's the politics, what they're really saying to you is just a bunch of bullshit going on, and somebody is making decisions for everybody, and everybody's following instead of it being one system run like a basketball team where everyone holds a certain position. You got one person that's just controlling everyone's position.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because Pat, you know what I'm saying?
So we can't get Pat,
the first to really get a major label deal and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day.
Pat was very, to me, in my opinion, before Pat even went to jail, like that's who was on that late last night line in the bed. That's him actually sampling on it. Pat had that gritty feel that I had before I had it. You know what I mean? So he was able to come right back out and like a time capsule and capture that gritty feel that people needed right then and right there. Because he really picked right back up where he left off. He was doing the same exact thing. He just was more so in the streets, and Juicing them didn't have the avenues that they had when he came home. Excuse me, they didn't have those avenues. But Pat, man, to me, Pat, if nobody got the club as Crunk, I still don't think Juice and Paul get the Crunk credit. They get the music credit. It's a lot of guys, man, like Frazier Boy, Lil White. To me, Lil White is, it's like Lil White is underrated. I don't know. I'm a big fan of his. A lot of his music. Chat. Man, Chat is hard. Man, Chat is to me. Chat is to me. She should get more credit too. You know, like the Mama Mia's or the the Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki Minaj is a blow up doll. It's not a real woman. That's just I don't know. Chat is a real. She can give it to you the way your sister or your
right
girlfriend or your friend, huh?
I said she's about 150 pounds of silicone and herpes.
She said. I just said she 150 pounds silicone and herpes. I got to use that, bro. Yeah. I couldn't. When I first heard her, I liked her because when I first heard her, she was her lyricism was so different. All my click get buck overbite her punchline. So at first I couldn't see her. I was only hearing her. I was like, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like the pit bull in the skirt. Like Eve was with the Rough Riders. I kind of felt like okay, but then she got with the. And then she would rap like that at the and then she started fucking me up like, damn, I like you. Why is you doing the Barbie shit? That would threw me the fuck off.
Yeah, man.
But I like her. I just not like I like Chat. I'm just a fan. I've been liking Chat. I met Chat in college, Juicy J instantly. I just been a fan of Chat for the longest.
Yeah, Chat is super talented. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, in Memphis that don't get their just due. And I'm glad you contacted us, man, because, we're trying to interview thousands of people, you know what I'm saying? And we want to make sure that every Lil Noid, every Chat, everyone has their story heard, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we were able to do that for you tonight. And I want you to come out in the future for sure. You know what I'm saying? We do round tables from time to time. Maybe you can come out when we have some other guests as well and chop it up, What about today, though? I want to ask you, 2017, are you, what's your relationship like with Juicy J? Have you spoken to him recently?
Oh, man, we've been had a whole lot of in-between talk in the past couple of years, and I think that's where we got a little lost at. Somebody kind of mean, we send people back and forth, and I don't know whether the message got to him, I don't know whether the message got to me, and after a while, we just quit doing that. So I kind of don't know. Last time I saw him, he was in Memphis at the Cannon Center. I was on stage with him at the Cannon Center. That's about the last time, we really just – the dude is absolutely busy. I don't even think he sleeps, literally. I don't even know how – he's so busy that it's scary, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, could I handle that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's a busy dude, man. But I would love to get in contact with him. But like I said, I got some things going on with the P-Funk 2, my 666 Mafia Days Reborn, P-Funk, my bank runs to the deposit. We still got this P-Funk 2 vinyl that's overseas. We got to try to see if we're going to continue to push that for another year or two or just call it quits on that one before we do P-Funk 2. So we may take it and put it on vinyl. We don't know yet. We're going to put it on the tape first. But we got a lot of show dates and stuff like this are coming up. I got to get with this guy by the name Paul. I got to get with Hunter Promotions, and I got to sit down with a whole bunch of people and see exactly what the plan going to be. We got the music in play, but I need a business proposal. Like if I come up with a budget, I really don't want to just have a budget and spending money with no, you see what I'm saying, with no way of knowing how it's going to come back. So that's what we're trying to do now, to see how that revolving circle going to work.
See, yeah, definitely, man. You know what I'm saying? You need to be out there, and your music needs to be heard, man. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. We're gonna go off on this other track, you know what I'm saying, to end the show out. But before we do, Lil Noid, I want to make sure that everybody can get in touch with you for features, for verses, and whatnot. Man, what's the best way people can get at you for all that, man? Social media, all that.
You can reach me on any social media outlet: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, basically any social media outlet I can be found. I have numbers that I can be contacted on these social media websites as well. Anything on YouTube, Spotify, of course, anything that you want to find for the past 10 to 15 years, you can look that up, download that. I also have my own website, NoidShotLimitedRun.com, where we advertising the Bank Runs 1. We're doing a whole lot of script clubbing this summer. So, like we're going from city to city, state to state, and we're stopping at script clubs, then clubs. We're going to women, then guys, That should be interesting. I did a whole lot of road work last summer with Bank Runs 1, And, man, it turned out so good that, you know, a lot of people say, you know what, if you need this, you need that, we'll get behind you. Just make sure you got the same ducks in a row, and we're going to get behind you on this one. So that's what we're trying to do, is push it all the way back up to Juicy if we can get it to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, man, it's an honor to have you on the show. We look forward to having you on again, man. We got this final track that you're saying is called I'm Bigger Than It All, man. Let everybody know about this intro of this track, and we'll get up out of here. Okay, Bigger Than It All is a song, actually a single that came off my 666 Mafia days. It was in rotation on the radio for a minute, and I wanted to play it not just for me, but for my nephew. My nephew was tortured, and he went through a whole bunch of fucked up shit as a kid. He was just tortured, and it's his favorite song. He's short. He got a short complex already. I try to talk to him because I'm a little guy, so he listen to me when I talk to him about it. But Bigger Than It All it's just you knowing that you can handle anything. You know you can do this. Don't look at what people say, and don't look at what people put in front of you and think it's just in front of you. Don't look at it, look into it. That's what Bigger Than It All is about. Don't look at the situation, look into it. That's real shit. Hell of a fucking show. Hell of an interview, man. You got a huge story. Needs to be heard. I'm glad you told it here tonight on the show, man. Thank you so much, Noid. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, bro, man. You know what, man? I love what you guys are doing, man. I love your vibe. I love how you do your thing. We're going to see each other at the top, and it came out of my mouth first, so I want you to take credit for it, okay?
Right on, man.
Yeah, we're going to see each other at the top. I said it first. I said it and you didn't. I don't want to pop champagne with you like you said it first. I said it first. You know, we brag like that. When my homie, we brag to each other like that. We build each other up like that. Instead of we build each other up like that. You know what I mean? You got the 500, you got the 6. What you get the 5 for? You know you're a 600 nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it makes you sit there and think like, damn, he right. I am 600. Right. But it's nothing bad, man. We just always try to uplift each other without the softness. Yeah, that's real shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with positivity, man. We all need a little fluff here and there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, here's Lil Noid. You guys, man, I thank you, man. I got a girl sitting right here, man. I think both of you guys will get off the phone with me for, so that's what I'm going to do with you guys. Get off the phone.